Hi, everyone, and welcome to our presentation. We are so excited to have you here today to engage in a discussion about mental health and wellness. The title of this presentation is Social Media and Mental Health, How Fitspiration and Internet Stress Can Impact Our Well-Being. Today, we'll be discussing what the title conveys, and we hope to learn together about how social media content, specifically Fitspiration, can affect our mental health.
Before we begin the presentation, we're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves so those who are watching can get to know your presenters a bit better. So I'm Lexi, and I'm a fourth year psychology major and a global development minor. And the reason I'm passionate about the PhD program is because I can help the community towards better mental health and overall well-being.
My name is Riley. I am a third year health studies major, and I'm passionate about the Peer Health Educator program because I really enjoy the peer-to-peer interactions.
My name is Essie, and I'm a third year global development studies major. I'm really passionate about the PhD program because in the past it's helped me, and I'm able to help my peers now.
And my name's Kate, and I'm a third year psychology student, and I'm minoring in health studies. And I'm passionate about the PhD program because I just love to kind of educate the Queens community about health and mental health.
And my name's Cassidy. I'm a third year student doing a major in life science and a minor in psychology. And I'm passionate about the PhD program because I think health literacy is really important. And I think that this can really help Queens students or just students in general.
Together, we make up the mental health and fitness topic team within the Peer Health Educator program.
To give a bit of background, the Peer Health Educator program is a part of the health promotion team within Student Wellness Services at Queens. The program is comprised of student volunteers that create and implement health outreach activities to educate the Queens community about topics such as healthy eating, substance use, mental health, and more.
Although we usually provide interactive outreach events on campus, this year we are doing things a little differently for safety reasons, and we've moved our initiatives online to create interactive webinars and other activities that we hope still provide the peer-to-peer health education that our team is known for.
Before we begin the bulk of today's presentation, we're just going to take a few moments to outline some of the learning goals that we hope to accomplish with our webinar today.
So first, we hope to give you an understanding of some of the negative impacts that Fitspiration can have, not only on our body image, but also on our internet stress and social media usage patterns as well.
We also hope to share some of the more positive aspects of Fitspiration and online physical fitness platforms, and how one can reshape their mindset when viewing Fitspiration content to amplify positive impacts and minimize negative ones.
Additionally, we hope to show you how one can apply aspects of positive psychology to handle the mental health strain that can result from Fitspiration imagery and social media use, and how one can harness physical fitness as a relief from stress as well.
We also wanted to express that we aim to make this webinar as interactive as possible given the circumstances. Throughout the webinar, you will have ample opportunity to engage with the media and explore your own thoughts with guided questions. So we hope that you all take advantage of these interactive portions.
So before we begin talking about the pros and cons of Fitspiration, we first want to ask you to take a moment to come up with your own definition of Fitspiration. What do you think Fitspiration content looks like? What messages does Fitspiration convey? Keep this definition in mind, and we'll return talking about it shortly.
Most of you have probably encountered Fitspiration at some point in your time on social media. For many university students, our feeds are littered with Fitspiration content, workout plans, and thin bodies, with many of these types of posts promoted by people who seem to lead ideal lives.
Many of us know to take these types of posts with a grain of salt, but believe it or not, they can still affect our well-being. One 2018 study by Easton and colleagues found that although students who viewed Fitspiration content were distrustful of the images they were viewing, students still felt a guilt about not following a similar lifestyle to the Fitspiration posts they were seeing.
Learning the positive and negative outcomes associated with different types of social media content and learning to act as a monitoring agent in your own social media consumption can make us more informed and healthy users of social media.
All right, and now we have a bit of a poll for everyone watching. So our question is, do you deliberately engage with Fitspiration content on social media? And do you seek out and follow Fitspiration accounts? And so just kind of answer the question to yourself with the multiple choice answers that we've provided. And yeah, reflect on that.
So we would like to start off our presentation by considering one of the many definitions of health. So the World Health Organization's definition of health is as follows. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity.
As you can see, this definition shows us that mental health is an important aspect of our overall well-being and has potential to influence the physical and social aspects of our health.
Additionally, this definition tells us that thriving mental health isn't only the absence of mental illness, but also encompasses the maintenance of a well-balanced lifestyle with healthy practices that allow us to have a positive sense of self.
It is also important to note that there is a distinction between mental illness and mental health. A mental illness is a diagnosable condition, whereas mental health is a state of being that affects our ability to feel as though we are living a full life. For example, a person with a diagnosed mental illness can still have thriving mental health, and a person with no mental illness can still experience mental health that is languishing.
Since our presentation focuses on Fitspiration, social media, and positive psychology, we do want to define a few of these terms for you before our presentation starts.
So Fitspiration can be defined as imagery on social media that aims to inspire individuals viewing the content to exercise and be healthy. So this type of content can include images about dieting, exercise routine videos, and more. So this type of media has the potential to be harmful, especially if the focus of most of the posts is to obtain an attractive body. With this definition, think about the definition that you came up with a few minutes ago. How did this definition compare to your own?
Positive psychology is the study of what makes life most worth living. It focuses on both individual and societal well-being and focuses on the strengths that allow people and communities to thrive.
Now that we've covered some of the basic definitions, you'll need this for presentation. Let's move on to our first topic.
As the first part of our webinar today, we're going to be discussing the negative impacts of Fitspiration. Fitspiration images have the power to negatively impact our social health, mental health, and physical health, as well as our motivation and our confidence. Since the many factors involved in our well-being are interconnected, we can see that Fitspiration's negative impact in one area can affect the entirety of our well-being.
Let's start with talking about the impacts of social media in general. As we're sure you know through your own learning or even your own experience, social media can have an impact on the way that we view ourselves. It provides a daily avenue through which we can compare ourselves to others, and whether we're comparing our own posts to those of our friends or comparing our lives to those of celebrities that we see on social media makes it really easy for us to engage in social comparison.
So one of the most well-known impacts of social media use is its effect on body image, particularly in young women. So countless studies have examined the link between social media exposure and body dissatisfaction, with higher exposure to social media correlating to higher body image concerns.
One study termed the act of visiting other social media profiles, clicking the like button, and leaving comments of social grooming. The study found that higher levels of social grooming correlated with a greater drive for thinness and higher levels of appearance comparison among study participants. One of the most important points that the study makes is that this drive for thinness was present in both males and female users. Fitspiration content for men is more likely to depict male subjects that are muscular and hypermuscular, whereas Fitspiration content with female subjects is more likely to show thin but toned bodies. You can see that Fitspiration content tends to differ based on whether the subject is male or female, but the impact on those viewing the content is the same. It produces a drive for thinness and a sense of body dysfunction that can be hard to overcome.
Another often examined facet of social media's effect on body image is Fitspiration content. Fitspiration content can be images, videos, and other media that promotes thinness without a focus on health. Fitspiration is often pro-eating disorder and promotes the thin ideal through messages about restrictive eating and weight guilt. Unsurprisingly, being exposed to content such as this has a negative impact on how viewers think about their own body. For many, this type of content can maintain an eating disorder or begin one.
Fitspiration content is often proposed as a better and healthier alternative to thinspiration. Many people think that Fitspiration, with its supposed encouragement of a healthy diet and exercise, could not possibly be taken in a harmful way. However, one study that analyzed the content of both Fitspiration and thinspiration websites found that they included many of the same themes. Weight loss and body objectification messages, as well as women posing to seem thinner, were found on both websites. One study even found that close to a fifth of women who post Fitspiration images online were at risk for an eating disorder.
Despite its possibility to be used as an encouragement to live a healthy lifestyle, it is clear that Fitspiration images still often contain body types that adhere to thin and athletic ideals. Many studies have found that Fitspiration, regardless of whether the message is one that's positive or negative, it can still create body comparisons and a negative impact on one's body image. So as you kind of saw in a sneak preview, we're going to put up another poll to ask you about your experiences with Fitspiration. So the question is, have you ever experienced negative feelings as a result of Fitspiration or thinspiration content? And then the kind of multiple choice answers are below.
Yeah, so even though Fitspiration holds the potential to be used as an influence towards a healthy lifestyle, much of the Fitspiration content that appears on our social media pages is unrealistic and edited. So Fitspiration can promote a perfect healthy lifestyle that can seem unattainable for most, especially when we can never really tell which bodies are a result of healthy eating and exercise and which bodies are simply edited. So without being able to tell the difference, we risk comparing ourselves to bodies that are physically unattainable without the help of computer software, and risk feeling internal guilt and failure as well.
The ideals that Fitspiration promotes can also be unattainable for other reasons, besides editing and filtering. Fitspiration content often promotes a lifestyle that can only be achieved by people who don't seem to have stress or work commitments, and always seem to have access to a gym or home equipment. For people, this isn't a reality, and it's not typical for this to be anyone's reality. However, it can still lead to more feelings of guilt and inadequacy.
Additionally, some populations are specifically vulnerable to Fitspiration. For example, young adults using social media may be more vulnerable to the negative effects of Fitspiration because they are less able to think critically about the content they are engaging with.
A person's mood can also cause vulnerability to Fitspiration. Engaging with Fitspiration content while already in a poor state of mind may intensify one's mood, while viewing Fitspiration content while in a good mood may buffer some of the negative effects of the content.
Let's now take a brief moment to talk about COVID-19 and how it impacts Fitspiration and the ways that we've discussed above. It's undoubtable that COVID has shifted our ability to control exercise and healthy eating. So whether we're eating more from stress or are unable to exercise because of indoor gym closures, COVID has and still is shifting our ability to control our health and fitness. It should be seen as completely normal to notice fluctuation in weight and health during the pandemic, but because Fitspiration content often perpetuates images of a perfect life, it can be especially harmful to see this content while our own lives are in a state of flux. Additionally, COVID has shifted our screen time and social media consumption patterns, and many of us are spending a lot more time online as a result of not being able to do much outdoors. This increased consumption can further our exposure to Fitspiration content in a way that could be detrimental to our mental health.
So despite the possible negative impacts of Fitspiration that we've covered both during COVID and outside of it, many of these impacts can be overcome by critically engaging with the content one sees online. So seeing past the unrealistic image that Fitspiration promotes and understanding the relationship between your own state of mind and the media you're consuming can help to deter the negative consequences of Fitspiration and make the positive outcomes more salient.
Next, we'll be talking about positive aspects of Fitspiration. First, I'll review the goals for Fitspiration to give a little context. Remember that Fitspiration is short for Fitness Inspiration, and its goal is to allow users to view exercise-related images and videos and communicate with like-minded individuals.
It can contain exercise tips, recipes, and photographs of food or people. For example, before and after pictures to show changes in weight or muscle. It is very different from Fitspiration, which was a form of social media that promoted weight loss and thinness.
There is evidence that some aspects of Fitspiration may have a negative impact on our mental state, as we discussed previously, but other aspects of Fitspiration can be inspirational, motivational, and support behavioral change. With many youth spending a minimum of 2 hours on social media each day, and around 45% spending more than an hour per day on health and fitness related content, social media can play a large role in encouraging healthy behavior among youth if it is used correctly.
One study showed that many people select and filter the content that they follow and engage with to get the most out of it. People usually like to choose content that is consistent with their goals and minimize viewing of content that they find irrelevant to their goals.
So this can suggest that people are usually able to filter out the content that they find harmful and instead focus on what they find to be helpful or inspirational, supporting healthier behaviors. So people can develop this mindset to only focus on the Fitspiration content that they find can help motivate a change towards healthier behaviors and reshape their thinking towards the content that may cause body dissatisfaction. The positive effects of Fitspiration will be more pronounced.
One possible way to reshape thinking towards content that may cause body dysfunction or feelings of self-doubt is to learn to appreciate that everybody has different body types and that there are different body types that can represent health. Social media users that engage with Fitspiration content could try to make an effort to follow accounts that show people of many different body types making Fitspiration content. We can also try self-reflecting techniques to learn to value and appreciate our own bodies.
One study showed that a combination of Fitspiration pictures and self-compassion quotes led to positive outcomes compared to just looking at Fitspiration pictures. This can suggest that to bring out the more positive effects of Fitspiration, content creators could talk about self-compassion while teaching or promoting exercise tips. However, Fitspiration content creators often do not take on this role. So people who engage with Fitspiration may also take it upon themselves to reflect on the compassion and love that they have for themselves, and whether Fitspiration has a positive or negative impact on that. This is another example of how to engage with Fitspiration in a positive way.
Another study showed that exercise with the goal of living a healthy life is correlated to an increase in body satisfaction, whereas exercising solely for appearance-related reasons can decrease body satisfaction. This study shows us another way that we can reframe our thinking about exercise. People engaging with Fitspiration content could make sure to filter out content that seems to relate mainly to appearance, and instead focus on content that promotes health and wellness and has a positive effect on their self-esteem. This change in mindset could be accomplished by using different techniques, such as positive psychology, which we will be discussing later in the presentation. Now we have another question for you. Have you ever experienced positive feelings as a result of Fitspiration on social media?
All right, and now that we've learned a bit about how to use Fitspiration with an appropriate and positive mindset, let's focus on some other benefits of Fitspiration. For one, Fitspiration offers social media and internet users health and fitness information that is highly accessible if they choose to look for it. For example, YouTube offers workout videos of all different genres, from cardio exercises to dance workouts to strength training. Many people do not have the ability to access gyms, personal trainers, or fitness classes. So Fitspiration provides an avenue for these people to access content that can actively improve their health.
So finally, Fitspiration has great potential to inspire people to try different exercises or food recipes to start living healthier lives with the right mindset when looking through the content. With different venues on social media, people can be more creative with their content and encourage others to live healthier lives with different types of workouts and different recipes to try. So just to list some examples, there's yoga, Zumba, cardio, dance workouts, strength training, full body core arms workouts that are accompanied with music, outdoor workouts, and stretches.
Before we move on talking about positive psychology and fitness, let's watch this video together. This is a short artistic video by Vogue that is promoting the new video workout program of a specific celebrity. Watch the video and reflect on its content. Does this video reflect a negative or positive type of Fitspiration? What characteristics stand out to you in the video, if any?
Now hit me with the music. Shake it up, shake it up, boom. Binds up the place. Hit me with the music.
Now that we've taken a moment to watch the video, let's start unpacking the negative and positive aspects of Fitspiration that are present in the video. As I'm sure you have all noticed, this Fitspiration video is made by Vogue magazine. Before Fitspiration content was available, it was often magazines that marketed fitness content or portrayed images of the ideal body type. It is interesting to see that even today, magazines are still involved in creating this type of content, even though we now have social media influencer Fitspiration creators as well.
We will first start off by looking at the negative aspects of this video. This video can seem unrealistic and edited in some ways, and the actress in the video is wearing clothes that show off her body type. This could result in viewers subconsciously comparing their own body type with hers, and thus exerting a negative effect on their body image. Additionally, the backdrop and the sets for the video seem quite fancy, and they portray opulence. This could be unrealistic to viewers as well and make it hard for them to relate to the content. It could also give off the message that only people who have fit and thin bodies can achieve the lifestyle seen in the video.
On the other hand, some positive aspects can be seen in the video as well. The actress in the video demonstrates simple fitness exercises that lots of people can do at home, such as squats, sit-ups, mountain climbers, and push-ups. The actress appears strong and healthy. To get the most out of this video, audience members would first need to understand that the video is unrealistic and try not to compare themselves to the actress that's in the video. Then, the audience can view the video as a type of art and a method of self-expression for the actress, and see how they can draw inspiration from the fitness exercises in the video and apply them to their own exercise routines.
So next we're going to talk about positive psychology and fitness. So incorporating the theories of positive psychology can help provide guidelines about how to have higher levels of well-being and live a full life. So students' mental health and overall well-being plays an important role in all aspects of their life, and combining positive psychology with an active, healthy lifestyle can play a role in mitigating specific stressors, thus leading students to a flourishing life academically, socially, and physically.
First, let's talk more specifically about positive psychology. How do we measure psychological health assets that are associated with good health factors like positive emotions, life satisfaction, and optimism? There are a variety of ways we could do so.
The disease model was most used for measuring psychological health assets in the past. It focused on the negative aspects and pathology, and how these prevented people from having flourishing health. However, with the introduction of positive psychology, the disease model has been used less frequently. Many researchers now suggest using a model that focuses on strengths to achieve flourishing as the main goal. One such model is the PERMA model. PERMA stands for positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishments. The model essentially states that individuals can flourish and achieve psychological well-being when they engage with each area of the acronym, cultivating their talents and strengths along the way. These factors can be achieved in many ways, but how do we combine them with fitness?
Positive psychology and fitness can be incorporated by understanding the importance of being resilient. Resilience is the ability to recover or bounce back during adversities. As we are living through a pandemic, adversities and blocks in our plans have become much more common, making the need for resilience and healthy coping abilities even more important. Resilience can be cultivated by using aspects of positive psychology as the basis for coping and bouncing back. For example, people who have strong relationships and areas of positive emotion in their lives, as outlined by the PERMA model, will find it easier to bounce back from stress.
If we think about fitness in the context of the PERMA model, it can come into play in many ways. So for example, if we engage with Fitspiration in a healthy and critical way, fitness activities have the potential to be a fun stress reliever and bring the positive emotions aspect of the model. Using Fitspiration and fitness as a way to set achievable goals can bring a sense of accomplishment that is also important to the PERMA model. If you take a moment, you can probably think about how fitness applies to other areas of the model as well. Most, if not all, aspects of the PERMA model can be achieved through some form of fitness, which in turn leads to the mental fitness that can help us be adaptable in uncertain circumstances and lead flourishing lives.
So positive psychology approaches can be highly individualized, allowing for students to create their own fitness and mental health goals. Students should reflect on what they have done well, what they haven't, and reasons for this. So students can learn how to set goals based on their strengths and learn new and improved ways of applying these strengths in different situations.
Now that we've covered how positive psychology and fitness can be combined, let's move on to a related topic and discuss how fitness can relieve internet stress. First, let's define some terms.
For one, a stressor can be described as an event or experience that threatens the ability of an individual to adapt and cope. Stress is a major factor that influences many aspects in an individual's life, including education, work, family, social settings, and health. Internet stress is stressors that are caused by online engagement. Internet stress can occur because of unhealthy online comparison between peers, too much time on a screen due to online schooling, and many other scenarios as well.
Take a study by Levent Denise, for example. This study showed that internet stress can take a toll on the mind. The study included secondary school students who spent between 60 and 84 minutes on the internet every day. In students who spent more time on the internet, their internet use was associated with greater feelings of loneliness. We now have another question for you to consider. Have you ever experienced internet stress before?
Fitness can potentially alleviate internet stress because being active helps improve the way that the body actually handles stress. Exercise affects neurotransmitters in the brain, such as dopamine and serotonin, which affect mood and behaviors. Exercise and stress research have typically centered around aerobic exercise, and there is abundant evidence that people feel calmer after engaging in 20 to 30 minutes of aerobic exercise. Although not a lot of research has been done on resistance exercise and stress management, resistance exercise can still be seen as a way to take a break from one's stressors and set exercise-related goals. All types of exercise can alleviate our stress. However, to wrap up today's discussion about internet stress and fitness, we want to focus on yoga.
So yoga has been shown to increase the volume of areas in the brain that lead to improvement in focus, concentration, and emotional control. Other areas in the brain are seen to have reductions in gray matter, and these reductions can help people better handle their emotions, thus reducing stress.
During yoga, the brain releases chemicals that help you relax and lower stress levels. These chemicals include GABA, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Yoga has been shown to increase GABA levels by 27% in individuals who performed a 60-minute yoga session.
A study showed a positive correlation between changes in GABA levels and improvements in mood and stress levels. Engaging in yoga can ultimately help students release chemicals in the brain to help you relax and reduce stress.
As we're sure you have learned, the benefits that exercise can bring for creating resilience and reducing stress only holds if the way that you're accessing fitness information is healthy. If the Fitspiration content you're viewing is a cause of your internet stress, then using that content isn't going to decrease your stress, even if it pushes you to exercise more. To make sure that you're getting the most stress relieving benefits out of exercise and fitness, refer to the tips that we previously provided to make your engagement with Fitspiration content a positive experience.
We also recognize that using exercise as a stress reliever isn't everyone's cup of tea, but we all still have outlets and activities that we can go to for de-stressing. We've created a short but fun personality quiz to give you some alternative ideas for de-stressing that don't exclusively revolve around fitness. So if you would like, you could click the link to check it out.
So now let's consider marginalized groups of people, so who are already victims of the social structure and how they can face different types of impacts resulting from Fitspiration and internet stress. So marginalized populations are groups of people that are systematically excluded from economic, political, cultural, and social activities of the American dream. The term marginalized has expanded from originally referring to minorities, usually people of color, and persons in poverty to include a large list of populations.
The most common marginalized groups include LGBTQ2+, senior citizens, racial cultural minorities, individuals with hearing or eyesight impairment, and people on the autism spectrum, to name just some. These groups of people live on the fringe of the mainstream.
Let's first talk about how Fitspiration can differentially impact marginalized groups. While we saw in the first part of the presentation that Fitspiration content can cause all types of people to have a negative view of their body or compare themselves to Fitspiration, different groups can experience this impact in diverse ways. For example, if a white and able-bodied woman views Fitspiration content, she may only be concerned that she is not as thin as the people portrayed in the Fitspiration she is seeing. However, if an Indigenous woman who uses a wheelchair sees the same content, she may not only be concerned that she does not have the same body as a Fitspiration creator, but may also have to deal with the impacts of not seeing a woman like herself represented in Fitspiration.
To understand how internet stress and social media can affect minority groups, let's look at Black Americans and Canadians as just one example. When pro football player Colin Kaepernick took a knee during the American national anthem to protest violence against Black Americans, it was a controversial topic, but it caught the attention of many and made police brutality a huge topic of discussion across America. His very small action is still notorious today, thanks in large part to social media. Social media has been an asset in voicing concerns of inequality and acting as a site of social action. However, it can also be easy to find hateful and negative content on social media or to become overwhelmed by social justice content that goes viral on social media. The result is a type of internet stress that may not impact those who are a part of majority groups in society. To further exacerbate the issue, members of marginalized groups may not have access to the same supports or services to handle stress that other members of the population do.
There has not been much published research done on the adverse effects of internet stress specifically on racial minority groups. However, as with the previous example, it is easy to see how social media can be both a positive thing and a cause of stress to marginalized groups in a community.
So now that we've provided you with a little bit of insight into Fitspiration, we want to conclude the presentation by reminding you of some of the key points to keep with you going forward.
Fitspiration content can have both negative and positive consequences for our fitness habits and mental health. Sometimes these consequences may even occur simultaneously.
Fitspiration in your life should be looked at through the lens of positive psychology. If Fitspiration content helps you get active and stay active, great. If it hasn't yet done this for you, it may be time to consider how to combine the PERMA model and fitness to make exercise a positive aspect of your life.
Always keep in mind that every individual is unique, as are our brains, bodies, and fitness journeys. You do not need to look like someone else or work out like someone else to be healthy and well. Try critically analyzing the Fitspiration you see and ensure it is truly aiming to inspire fitness, not thinness.
Fitspiration is what you make of it and the consciousness you bring with you when you view Fitspiration material. Remember that only you can manage your own social media and internet habits in a way that makes you feel best.
Especially this year, internet stress is a real concern for many of us. You can make conscious decisions about your time spent on the internet and the way you use it. Fitness may be a helpful tool to alleviate internet stress and Fitspiration content, if viewed critically, and partner with positive psychology. We help you get inspired to utilize fitness to feel better.
Before leaving, we want you to take some time to reflect on what you've learned today and how you can apply it to your everyday life after this presentation. We invite you to take this moment to create a goal for yourself using the information you've learned today. So the question here is, what is one goal you will set for yourself going forward for your use of internet, social media, and viewing Fitspiration content?
We also want all our viewers to know where they can go to access more advice, recommendations, or help for anything related to mental health in the future.
Our first resource for you is Empower Me, which is a free confidential counseling service accessible by phone 24/7, 365 days a year. This service will match you with a professional according to your preferences to discuss anything you feel concerned about. The toll-free North American phone number is 1-833-628-5589.
Our second resource for you today is TAO or TAO, or Therapy Assistance Online. This service offers interactive, guided pathways for self-work concerns like worry, interpersonal relationships, and poor mood. This is a quick, easy, self-paced service that can be accessed at ca.taoconnect.org.
Our third and final service for you is self-paced, mental health-oriented workbooks offered through Student Wellness Services. These workbooks are a great resource option if you don't feel like talking to someone, and they can be used almost anywhere. The workbooks can be found at queensu.ca/studentwellness/mental health under the self-directed workbooks and other resources bubble.
Finally, we also encourage you to like, follow, and add the Queen's Health Promotion page on social media. We can be found under Queen's U Be Well on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can see regular tips, advice, and information from all our health promotion teams and peer health educators on how to be well. We can also be reached by email at bewell@queensu.ca.
Finally, we wish to leave you with a reminder that health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity.
With this in mind, we hope that this webinar helped you reflect on your own well-being and your own lifestyle, and that you learned something that will benefit you going forward.
Thank you for giving us your time and attention for this webinar. We enjoyed sharing with you, and we hope you all stay well. Bye.